with their hands up in the air, fear etched on their faces. A group of 5 Palestinian men waves a white flag towards whom they believe are Israeli soldiers as plumes of dark smoke billow into the air around them. The young man waving the makeshift white flag, which is a symbol of surrender or truce, also flashes what looks like a green identity card in the same direction, amid the buzzing sound of drones. The reason they are risking their lives in an active war zone in the Khan Younis area of the Gaza Strip is that they want to rescue their loved ones trapped down the street, as Israel intensifies its land and air assault in the area.
عند الحجة وأخويا وعنده حوالي 50 نازح أو 70 نازح موجودين في البيت الثاني اللي يخش علينا اليهود يطلعونا وأخويا ما طلعوش بدنا نروح يعني نطلع إن شاء الله.
Moments later, the middle-aged man with a gold wedding ring gleaming on one of his fingers, who was narrating his ordeal to the journalists, is shot dead. Abu Savul's family had already fled their home in Gaza City and were trying to leave Khan Younis for Rafah, according to ITV News. On January 22, the man who suffered fatal injuries in the shooting incident had been approached by the ITV News journalist, and he explained in Arabic that his group was attempting to get other family members out of danger. Once the interview was done, the ITV News journalist moved away from the group, but carried on filming. The camera caught the sound of a burst of gunfire in the next shot, and the group of men still waving the white flag with their hands up in the air can be seen running away. As they try to flee, the man dressed in black can be seen on the ground. After the gunfire subsides, locals flock to drag the body off the street. The white flag is placed on the fatally wounded man's body, which slowly turns red with blood. As the group takes shelter in what has been reported by NBC News to be a courtyard of a nearby university and tries to check on the wounded man, another round of gunfire is heard, and people can be seen scattering in an attempt to avoid being shot. The incident has been recorded in the Mawasi neighborhood in Khan Younis, which the Israeli military had designated a safe zone, and houses a makeshift tent camp where thousands of dazed Palestinians live in squalid conditions. Mawasi is a narrow strip of desolate barren land that has become the newest tent city for displaced Palestinians as Israel pushed its military campaign towards southern Gaza after nearly destroying the northern part of the besieged enclave. The Israeli Defense Forces, meanwhile, questioned the authenticity of the video. In a statement, the IDF told ITV it is imperative to emphasize that the alarming, libelous, and a gross mischaracterization of the war with these despicable accusations can only be deemed as an extension of Hamas' propaganda effort to defame the IDF. It raises more questions about Israeli forces' treatment of civilians caught in the war, which has already killed 25,000 Palestinians, including 10,000 children. Ahmed Hijazi, a Palestinian videographer who witnessed the event and recorded the videos, told NBC News that the bullets came from one of several nearby Israeli tanks, but we cannot confirm the information. Hijazi told NBC News that the tanks directly fired at the dead man, and one of the bullets went straight into his heart. He was immediately killed. The Israeli military said this week that it had encircled the area, with its troops deepening their ground offensive to the west of Khan Younis. Is this the first time a civilian waving a white flag has been killed amid the war? Earlier this month, a Palestinian grandmother, Hala Kreis, was reportedly killed by an Israeli sniper in northern Gaza, even as she was holding the hand of her 5-year-old grandson, who was waving a white flag and was walking along an evacuation route, which had been declared safe, her relatives told Al Jazeera. Last year, Israel's military said it had discovered distress signals in a Gaza building, where 3 Israeli captives were sheltering before they were mistakenly shot dead by Israeli troops. Targeting civilians waving white flags is a war crime, rights groups including Human Rights Watch have said. Under the laws of war, also called international humanitarian law, parties to an armed conflict must take all feasible measures to distinguish between civilians and combatants, and they may target only combatants. Though civilians have no obligation to do it, waving a white flag is a universally recognized symbol as a further attempt to show that one is unarmed and means no harm. But in the war in Gaza, this symbol of peace seems to have little to no value.